Hello again, Mech Warriors. Throttle Geek bringing you another episode of Mech Tactical. Now, in the last video, we covered ranges for ballistics, or the general behavior of ballistics and how it's affected by range. And before that, same thing with energy weapons with the medium laser and how it's affected by range. So right now, we had the Merrick Mech Bay Challenge going on, and I was able to use the sale to purchase the other two Griffins that I did not have. I got those at a very good deal. I've been working on eliting these guys out. However, because of that, I wanted to have a range discussion involving the missile systems, particularly short-range missiles, long-range missiles. So before we go any further and show you their effects in game, I just wanted to show you this behavior in the systems within the game. So if we go to the right arm and we bring up the large ER large laser that I've got on here, and you look at the pop-up over there, you can see that the damage on the scale falls off with range, which we already proved. Okay, so if we go and we look at the missile weapon systems, then you can see that the scale is completely different. First off, LRMs have a minimum range, 180 meters, before they'll do any damage. Firing within that does nothing. And then they have a maximum range, not a fall off, a maximum range, meaning the damage goes from full damage to 0, 1 meter past that mark. Same thing is true with SRM, short range missiles. Maximum damage all the way out to the maximum effective range of 270 meters, and then it falls straight to 0 after that. So unlike the energy weapons and the ballistic weapons, which can still do damage past their listed range, missile systems do not. An extremely important distinction to be made. And I'll show you that how that works here in the next section coming up. Okay guys, here we are on Forest Colony, and I have these three mechs to show you that I've got targeted. First thing I wanted to start off with was a little side note here involving the sensors. The range to the enemy target is also affected by, or it affects your sensors by how far away it is. So for example, the closer you are to a target like this commando, you will gain the sensor information about that commando extremely quickly because you're so close. Almost instantaneously. He's inside of 100 meters. And then over here, we pick the cicada. He's at 300 meters. You can see there's a delay, and then the next pop-up gets up there with the paper doll. And then you can tell that the even further target away at 700 meters or so
New target acquired.
is even longer than the 300 meter one. So just keep that in mind if you're trying to gain sensor information on a target that's far away and you're exposing yourself to do so, to try to find out what his loadout is. You could be doing yourself more harm than good because of the amount of time you're going to have to stand in the open to retrieve that information. Okay, and let's talk about the LRMs. Okay, first off, let's talk about the basics of LRMs. I'm sure most of this is fairly simple. Everybody knows you target the mech, you keep the reticle near, you've got the lock, you fire the weapons, and they'll track fairly closely. If you have Artemis, the track is even better. If you have Tag, it's better. If you have Narc, it's better. That's all that stuff is pretty self-explanatory. But one thing that you do need to be aware of with LRMs is that you can dumbfire the weapons similar to SRMs, and they will go to wherever your targeting reticle is aimed. So if I aim over here at this rock, fire the LRMs, they will go hit right where my targeting reticle is. So if I put it over top of the guy over there, he's outside of my sensor range now. If he's not moving very quickly or they're kind of holding a corner, you can just put your targeting reticle on him, fire missiles, and as long as he's still standing there, you're going to get the hits. You can see it hit right on him. So now if I move forward, target him, the paper doll will pop up, and you can see that we've damaged him, but we didn't have him locked. So you can dumbfire your LRMs, which is useful for getting those targets that are further away than you thought you can hit. It's also good for area denial. If you're trying to keep somebody off of a corner, you can just repeatedly fire missiles at that corner, and most people will not voluntarily step out into missile fire. Okay, now if you fire on something inside of 180 meters, you will get no damage. Don't bother shooting. And then finally, we're going to get way outside the range here. Let me get in a little better position. Okay, backing up past 1,000 here. Alright, we're past 1,000. And if I fire the missiles, they're going to go to the targeting reticle. However, you're going to see them explode in the air above him. They have reached their maximum range. So they do not continue to go past and do diminished range. It just goes straight to 0. So you'll see the cloud of missiles will just burst before it ever gets within range of actually damaging the catapult. Okay guys, here we are for the SRM demonstration. Now, I know that stands for long range missile, short range missile, but I always think of the SRMs more like rockets. Like missiles implies a guided weapon system, whereas SRMs just are direct fire weapons, which is what a rocket weapon system is. But regardless, they're all missiles apparently. So anyways, I do have Artemis guidance on this, so all that means for the missiles in both weapon systems is a tighter cluster of missiles, so you can pinpoint your damage a little more onto one component if you so desire. Now the closer you are, even more pinpoint damage are you going to get out of short range missiles. The further back you are, you're going to have more splash damage as the missiles are going to spread out. And then if you don't have Artemis, the spread is going to be even further. So it's a pretty tight grouping there, but you can tell, I mean, I hit the CT, both legs, and a right torso, or excuse me, left torso. But the majority of the damage hit the center torso there. And they can be pretty nasty. The main thing you need to know about short range missiles is you absolutely must be paying attention to the range, because all you have to be is 1 meter outside of the effective range, which is listed at 270 meters. So let's go to 271 here. Okay, here we are at 271. Fire our missiles and you get no damage. If I move 2 meters forward to 269 and fire, I'll hit him all day long. So unlike ballistics, unlike energy weapons, you must pay attention to the range of your weapons. So yeah, that concludes the missile demonstration for this video, and we'll see you in the next part. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Mech Tactical. We'll be bringing you more for sure. If you did like the video, please subscribe. Please share the video with your friends. It helps me grow the channel. I'm still working on that. I'd like to grow it. And please leave likes. Please leave comments. I'd like to hear what you guys would like to see, or what you don't like what I'm doing. You want to see more gameplay, more commentary, more guides, tutorials? Let me know. Leave it in the comments section below the video. And we'll see you next time, guys, on another episode of Mech Tactical.